Understanding stress, why it happens and how to manage it. Introduction. What is stress and why does it matter? Stress is a word we hear almost every day, but most people don't truly understand what it means or how deeply it can affect us. Stress is the body's way of responding to any kind of demand or threat. When we feel threatened, our nervous system responds by releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones prepare the body to either fight the threat or flee from it, a response known as fight or flight. While this reaction is designed to protect us in dangerous situations, it can become harmful when it happens too often or for too long. This essay will explore how stress is created in the mind and body, why it can become chronic, and most importantly, how we can manage it using simple but powerful tools and understanding. The science of stress. What happens in the body? When we perceive something as a threat, whether it's a physical danger or emotional pressure, our brain sends a signal to the adrenal glands, located above the kidneys, to release stress hormones. These hormones increase our heart rate, make us breathe faster, and prepare our muscles for action. Our senses become sharper, and our mind becomes more alert. This is a useful reaction in emergencies. If a car is speeding toward you, stress helps you jump out of the way quickly. But the problem is, our brains can't always tell the difference between real danger and imagined threats. For example, thinking about an upcoming exam or job interview can trigger the same physical reaction as facing a wild animal. This becomes especially harmful when the stress response is activated over and over again, what we call chronic stress. The role of the brain in stress. The part of the brain most involved in stress is the amygdala, which processes emotions like fear. When it senses danger, it sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus, a small area in the brain that acts like a command center. The hypothalamus activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the fight or flight response. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and thinking clearly, starts to shut down. This is why we might struggle to think straight, make good decisions, or remember things when we're stressed. If the amygdala keeps sending signals to the hypothalamus repeatedly, we stay in a state of constant alert, even if there's no real danger. Causes of stress. External and internal triggers. Stress can be caused by external events, like losing a job, moving to a new place, relationship issues, or financial problems. These events are easy to notice because they are happening outside of us. But stress can also be caused by internal factors, such as our own thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. For example, if someone constantly tells themselves, "I'm not good enough or everything will go wrong," their brain treats those thoughts as threats. Even if nothing bad is happening, their body responds with stress. In this way, our thoughts can be more dangerous than real-world events because they can happen all day, every day. The role of perception in stress. One of the most important things to understand about stress is that it's not the event itself that causes stress, but how we perceive the event. Two people might face the same challenge, like giving a public speech. One person might feel confident and excited, while the other feels terrified. The situation is the same, but the response is different because their perception of the event is different. This means that learning to manage stress is partly about changing how we see and think about things. If we can learn to think differently, we can change how our body reacts. How chronic stress affects the body and mind. When stress becomes chronic, meaning it happens repeatedly over time, it can cause serious problems. High levels of cortisol can damage the brain, especially the hippocampus, which is involved in memory and learning. It can also weaken the immune system, making us more likely to get sick. Chronic stress can lead to physical problems like headaches, stomach aches, high blood pressure, and even heart disease. Mentally, it can cause anxiety, depression, and burnout. Emotionally, it can make us feel irritable, hopeless, or disconnected from others. This is why managing stress is not just about feeling better, it's about protecting our health and well-being in the long run. How to manage stress, a deep yet simple approach. The good news is that there are many ways to manage stress effectively. These methods don't require expensive tools or complex routines, they just need consistency and understanding. 1. Awareness, noticing the stress response. The first step in managing stress is awareness. This means learning to notice the signs that your body and mind are under stress. These signs might include a racing heart, tight muscles, shallow breathing, irritability, or feeling overwhelmed. Once we notice these signs, we can pause and ask ourselves, what am I reacting to? Often, just becoming aware of the stress can reduce its intensity. This is because awareness activates the prefrontal cortex and helps us shift out of automatic reaction mode. 2. Breathing techniques, calming the nervous system. One of the most powerful ways to calm the stress response is through deep, slow breathing. When we breathe deeply, especially with a longer exhale than inhale, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us relax. Try this. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 to 8 seconds. Repeat this for a few minutes. This simple practice can calm your body and mind very quickly. 3. Reframing thoughts, changing the way we think. As we discussed earlier, our thoughts have a huge influence on how we experience stress. Learning to reframe negative thoughts can help us feel more in control. For example, instead of thinking, "I'll never get through this," try thinking, "This is hard. But I've handled difficult things before." This small shift in language can make a big difference in how we feel and respond. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a psychological method that focuses on changing negative thought patterns, is based on this idea and is very effective for managing stress and anxiety. 4. Physical activity, moving the body to shift the mind. Exercise is one of the best natural stress relievers. When we move our bodies, whether through walking, dancing, yoga, or any other activity, we help release built-up tension and produce feel-good chemicals like endorphins. Regular physical activity not only helps reduce stress in the moment but also makes us more resilient to future stress. It improves sleep, boosts confidence, and increases mental clarity. 5. Healthy habits, supporting the body's balance. Good sleep, nutrition, and hydration are essential for managing stress. When we're sleep deprived or not eating well, our brain and body are more sensitive to stress. We become more reactive, more emotional, and less able to think clearly. Making sure to get enough sleep, eat whole foods, and drink plenty of water gives our body the strength it needs to face challenges without getting overwhelmed. 6. Mindfulness and meditation, training the mind to stay present. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It helps us become more aware of our thoughts and feelings so we can respond rather than react. Meditation, especially mindfulness meditation, has been shown to reduce stress, improve focus, and increase emotional well-being. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day of sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and observing thoughts without getting caught in them can have a powerful effect over time. 7. Social support, the power of connection. Humans are social beings, and one of the best ways to reduce stress is through connection with others. Talking to someone we trust, sharing our feelings, or even just spending time with friends and family can calm our nervous system. Studies show that physical touch, like hugs, and positive social interaction can reduce cortisol levels and increase oxytocin, the hormone that promotes bonding and calm. 8. Purpose and perspective, finding meaning in challenges. One of the most powerful ways to reduce stress is to find meaning in what we're going through. When we believe that our challenges are helping us grow or serve a larger purpose, they become less overwhelming. This doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to see ourselves as strong and capable, even when things are hard. People who have a clear sense of purpose tend to be more resilient and less affected by stress. Conclusion: stress is a message. Listen, don't ignore. Stress is not the enemy. It is a signal, a message from our body and mind that something needs attention. When we ignore that signal or push through it without understanding, stress can build up and cause damage. But when we listen, understand, and respond with care, stress becomes a teacher. Managing stress isn't about avoiding all challenges. It's about learning how to respond wisely, with awareness, breathing, movement, connection, and healthy thinking. These skills are available to everyone, and with practice, they can change your life. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to begin. In the end, managing stress is an act of self-respect and self-compassion. By learning to care for yourself in moments of difficulty, you become stronger, wiser, and more at peace, not just for yourself, but for those around you as well. That's it for now. Please let us know in the comments what you learned from this video. Thanks for your time. See you later.